Hey, Earthlings. So early this evening, I watched a live stream hosted by the Grumpy Vegan Grandad and included Tom Gale Batten and Catherine Klein and for the last part, Michelle Lowe. And it was about intersectionals in the movement. So I've been for a good walk and let all these kind of thoughts percolate through as you do. So here's some thoughts about what that was all about. So vegan values, what are they? Well, the pioneers of our movement, they talked about the vegan movement being liberation, being about justice. They saw it as part of the peace movement. They said, we're not so much welfare, we're liberation. We're on the side of the liberators. When they thought about a vegan world, they thought about a peaceful world. Donald Watson said that veganism represents the largest peaceful revolution that history will have known. So for the people who started our movement, we're talking about a big idea. So we need a lot of people to share our values, those values. If you take someone like Steve Best, he describes our values in the following way, that we're standing for equality, democracy, inclusivity, non-discrimination, non-hierarchy, rights, justice, peace, non-violence. He says those vegan values are left-leaning values. We share those values with left-leaning politics. If you look at right-leaning values, Best suggests that we're then talking about hierarchy, military, family, nation, borders, war, security. Yeah, borders, like building walls, which brings me on to Donald Trump. Some people argue that people who are Trump supporters can be vegan. How? The question is, how do those values marry with vegan values? Let's remind ourselves about Donald Trump. Just one aspect of it, the grab a pussy thing. He said, caught on tape, that he was so famous that he could grab women by the genitals. And he was so famous that he alluded to the idea that they let him or couldn't stop him or kind of knew that they were in a weakened position. And so they allowed it in some sense of allow. And he said his fame meant that he could do that to women. He also said on another occasion that a woman would look better, a particular woman would look better when she was on her knees. Now, this person has a set of values, and we're suggesting that people who defend or share such values, that those values are consistent with vegan values, that you can have grab a pussy veganism. And so Donald Watson said that we need the biggest revolution in the history of the world. And therefore we need to build our movement. And of course, we want our movement to be as big as possible. You tend to forge a movement with people who share your values, your aspirations and aims. So who shares our values? Best would say it's other people who are also left-leaning. He would say that we're not big enough to do this massive job, the liberation of other animals, and take into account that the idea is that the liberation of other animals means human liberation too. That is the grand vision of the vegan pioneers. We're too small. We can't do that on our own. We need to forge alliances, and we need to grow our movement. And so we need to reach out, make contact, persuade those people who already have similar values to us. These are not Trump type values. These are not values of some multi-billionaire who not only wants to build walls to keep out the pesky foreigners, he would go to the trouble of also labeling those immigrants rapists. Bit rich, isn't it? For a right-wing billionaire rapist to call poor migrants rapists as a whole, as a group. So it just doesn't fit. Right-wing values don't fit with vegan values. They're opposed to one another. And so if we want to forge alliances, we want to grow our movement, we need to seek out the people who share our values. We can't just hope that everybody will go vegan, regardless of what else they believe. Just doesn't work that way. Not if we're going to really bring about the largest peaceful revolution that the world has ever seen, which is what Donald Watson said veganism is all about, and for the benefit of other animals and humanity. We're just not going to do it. You know, a movement for liberation, for justice, for peace. You know, where do you think the Trump people are going to fit in with all of that? How do you think they're going to walk alongside us in order to reach those goals? And if we did walk alongside them, what about the other people who then would be too frightened of us to join? The people that would see the right as their oppressors. We would be blocking their route into the movement. We're not blocking the route of the right into the movement. We're just questioning their values. But if they come into the movement and express their right values as part of veganism in some weird way, then that means we're going to frighten off a lot of people who, on the face of it, are our natural enemies. And of course, the other argument there is these people, yes, okay, people on the left, we always get told this, they're speciesists. Of course, we have to challenge their speciesism. We have to say, we like your values, but your values don't go exactly where it should go. So we need to provide a challenge to them. It's easier to challenge someone when they're not just going to look at us and think, I'm not going to listen to these people with their right values, who would vote for grab a pussy. Just doesn't work. We have to forge alliances with other progressive movements. And that's what veganism is. We stand for liberation and for justice and for peace. These are radical ideas within this society. You know, we're talking about bringing down massive capitalist enterprises. You know, we're talking about a real revolution here. And we're not going to get it with Trump veganism. It's ludicrous. Okay, Earthlings. That was my thoughts banging around my head as I went on my walk. Yeah, it's good to have a walk like that. So I'll see you again. You take care. Bye for now.